Hello, welcome to How We Met. I'm Sheryl Strich, and every month I meet with two couples from Laguna Woods who tell their story about how they met. Today, I want to welcome our first couple, Mary and Tom Nee. Mary is a nurse case manager at Capistrano Beach Care in Dana Point, and she also plays pickleball. Tom loves pickleball, basketball, and golf. Tom is a gold medal winner in pickleball tournaments, not only in Laguna Woods, but in various Orange County tournaments. So, to make Tom feel comfortable, I'll just pull out the only 2 gold medals that I've ever won, and I'll wear them during our show. Welcome, Tom and
Mary. Thank you.
Mary. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
What an introduction. And all so accurate. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so let's start. I know you've memorized the first my 3 questions, Tom, but pretend you haven't, and I'll ask them.
Okay.
Where are you guys from?
We're from a small town in Boston called South Boston, and we actually met there. And
Don't, you're missing.
Not yet?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's
Mary,
where we're from.
Where are you from?
I'm from South Boston, too.
Okay.
Yes,
How long have you guys been a couple?
just about 40 years.
40 years. Ooh, with
Yeah.
Tom?
Yeah, 40 years with Tom, yes, yeah. Yeah, 40 years.
40
Yeah.
years, my goodness. And how long have you been living in Laguna Woods?
Almost 4 years now.
4 years.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, we love it here.
love it here.
Yeah.
Just beautiful.
Why don't we get started? How'd you meet?
Do you want me to tell?
Yeah, you can.
Why don't you start and see if Tom, or
he
should we have Tom start?
Why don't you start? You start.
So
never
we grew up in the same town, but we have 4 years age difference between us. So we never ran in the same.
Tom is much older.
Much older, yeah. But we didn't run in the same
Thanks for
circles
pointing
at
that
all. The town isn't that big. It's only about 3-4 miles.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
big.
it's small.
But different ends of town. So I was out one night with my friends, and we went to a bar, and he was there. And that's pretty simple, right? So we met that night. We had a drink, hung out, got to know each other. Common friends that we realized he's the same age as my brother. They played some sports together over the years. So yeah, and then that night we left there. We went to a house party.
You left together?
Yeah, a bunch of us
okay,
went.
okay.
A whole bunch of us were out. I was out with my girlfriends. And
We
his
jumped in
friends.
the same car, and she sat on my lap.
Yeah, and we all went to a house party, and it went very late that night at the party, and then he walked me home, and on the way home it was so late that the breakfast place was open, so we had breakfast together, and then that was it. 2 days later, I got the phone call, we went on a date, and we've been together ever since, yeah.
You know what, the thing that it was when we were sitting talking at the party, we had so much in common.
Yeah.
I said to her, you know, what's your birthday? August 26th, mine's May 26th. She said to me, how many children are in your family? I said, I'm the youngest of 5. She said, I'm the youngest of 5. And then we
Yeah.
just...
A million similarities.
Similarities,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was...
Okay, Mary,
Yes.
did you expect Tom to call you?
Yes, I did expect Tom to call me. And I'll tell you a funny story. The minute his car was in the shop, that he had some kind of a problem with your car. He had a Le Mans. It was beautiful. And I had
Whatever.
the green, I don't know, but anyway, I picked him up in the car because we're going on the date, and he immediately got in, and he said, let's just get this over with, and he kissed me immediately, and said, now, you know,
we don't have to think about
the
that.
the ice, we don't have to think about that anymore.
Break
The
the
ice is
ice.
broken, and we're done, so yeah. But we went to the movies, and this is the funniest story, is he said, I want to sit way up in the back, and I'm like, oh, no, he's going to want to make out the whole time we're at the movies, and he just talked the whole time we were at the movies.
That's why you needed to sit in the back. Nobody was around you.
And I said to her
rewatch.
afterwards, how did you like the movie? And she said, I
don't know.
I never seen it.
I couldn't even hear
I wanted to
the
get to know you.
What was
I
the
couldn't
movie?
wait.
Do you remember what the movie was?
It was a chorus line.
Oh,
with
you talked through a chorus line?
Chorus
He did,
line, I
yeah.
was singing and
One of my
dancing to
favorite
Michael
movies.
Douglas. Yeah.
Yeah, so-
I just wanted to get to know her as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tom, I've known you for a while, and I'm
Yeah.
kind of curious. How come you waited 2 days?
Yeah.
2 days to call?
Yeah.
Let her wait a little bit. A little anticipation doesn't hurt nobody.
Yeah. I
But yeah.
guess. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, that's how we met. Pretty.
And then how soon did you get married?
Oh, we were together for a very long time before we got married.
Yeah.
We didn't get married till 1995.
Right.
Yeah. So we already had the works in place. We had our family, well, most of our family, the house, couple of the kids. Yeah, we got married in '95. So yeah.
So how many years is that?
Almost 30, right? 1995.
34.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
29 years. I think.
29. You've been married 29 years.
29
yeah.
years. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a
Yeah.
long time to be together before you finalize it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it wasn't really that important to us, to be honest with you.
As long as we're together.
Yeah.
It's really all that
I think
matters.
it literally, and to be perfectly honest, it was our oldest son that said, "What is wrong with the two of you?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Everybody's parents are married. How come you're not married?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know. Maybe we should get married."
Yeah.
And we
How old-
did.
How old was he when you got married?
How old was I?
Your
My
son.
son, 7. He was 7.
So was he in the wedding?
He was in the wedding. Both boys were in the
Yeah,
wedding.
both
And
our
my
boys.
nephews, we had a
Yeah.
big
yeah.
little,
It was fun. It was a nice
yeah.
family wedding. Yeah.
Oh, it's really-
Everybody was involved.
Okay, so everybody grew up in Boston,
yeah.
and it must have been really tough. I mean, why'd you come here?
So 3 children, all 2 oldest boys, about 8 years ago now, decided they wanted to come to LA, and they did. They drove cross country and they quit their jobs and uprooted their lives, and they came this way. And then about 3 years later, 2 or 3 years later, my daughter, who was just out of school, said, "You know what? I think I'm going to go too," and she did. So she went to LA, and the 3 of them were here now, and we're home. I mean.
I
what are
come
we
in
gonna
from
do?
work and she said, "I got a job. I'm a nanny in Beverly Hills." And I
Yeah.
said, "Oh, what?"
Yeah.
I wasn't too excited because all my children were gone.
Right. Yeah.
They were gone and living 3,000 miles away.
Yeah, so we chased them, basically, is
Yeah.
what we did. But with that being said, we decided that we weren't going to be on top of them, right? We're not those people at all, and I'm not that helicopter mother. We're not helicopter
We're
parents.
right in the
at all.
middle. We're right in the middle.
So now one is in Los Angeles. She's in San Diego now,
Right.
and my boys are still in LA.
Okay.
So we're like
So they have to come
strategically
here.
placed
They
in the
have to
middle.
come here for everybody
Yeah,
to get
so
together.
it's easy for both of us to get back and forth to any of them.
Right.
Yeah. So it's nice.
Right.
Yeah. And they're great kids.
And you left everybody else in Boston.
We did.
Yeah, we left our families in Boston. And
Most
sisters
of
and
Tom's
brothers.
family's still in Boston.
Right.
They'll always be in Boston. They're rooted in the neighborhoods, and it's great.
That's what my son said. He
Yeah.
said, "I want to see the world." He said, "Everyone just stays in Boston and, it's on the-
Firefighter,
It's on the
police
fire, it's on the
officer.
police. Then they buy a triple decker and then
Yeah.
it continues
Right.
for
It's the
decades
city.
and decades.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's fine.
Right.
I mean, that's how we grew up. So,
Right.
But then again, if it wasn't for them, we never would have seen
No.
this part of the country. We just never, we would have done what he said we would have done.
Did you guys travel much?
no,
No.
I mean, East Coast,
Yeah, right,
the Bahamas,
right,
Aruba,
right.
tropical that way, in the
Right.
Atlantic, but never Pacific, no.
Right, right.
So it's nice, we get to see a lot of stuff here that we've never seen before.
So when you compare life in Boston to life in Laguna Woods, how would you do it?
Well, it's a lot quieter here. Let's put it that way. It's a lot quieter. And just everything, traffic and weather and all the stuff
weather's
that's, that are
beautiful.
important. Here, it seems so much calmer.
Yeah,
It's just a whole different world.
you can't be depressed here. There's no way that you can be depressed if you
paradise.
open your
Everyone says it.
window every day and the sun is shining
Right.
and you hear the birds and how at home it gets cold and dark and rainy and snowy, and it can be very disheartening to get up and have to shovel and go to work, and it takes
you
its
ever
toll
fight-
on you emotionally.
Did you ever fight over a parking space in Boston?
you don't want to know about
Our town is famous for that. Our town is actually famous for that. Yeah. Oh, there's stories that I could go on forever about that, but
Did you
we won't
ever
get
shovel
into
out
that.
a parking space and somebody took
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
that's what I
yes.
just said about the
Oh,
stories,
yeah.
and she
It's-
won't let me tell.
I will not tell you stories.
And I was
But
never that guy who did anything.
We're
but one
not.
time
We're
I did.
not just talking about that. But
No, I
anyway,
won't.
no, we won't. But people would
Yeah,
take
you went
people
to.
would take their kitchen chairs and put them in the parking spot.
Right.
They put
Like
everything in there.
everything, you name it.
They put toilets out there.
Toilets,
They put
like
everything.
things from their basement that, they were storing, they'd put it out in the parking
And
space.
you don't have to
for not-
worry about that around here.
No,
Right.
you don't have to worry about it.
You don't have to worry about shoveling for 8 hours and put a cone out and then a truck runs over it and you come home and you stayed in for 2 days because you didn't want to move the spot and then you went out to dinner and you come back and
They
truck
buried
just,
you in, yeah.
the truck just drove over the cone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about it.
Right. I grew
I
up-
love the gold medals. That's
Oh, thank you.
beautiful.
I want
You're from New York.
I'm from New York,
Yeah.
and so I know about parking spaces and,
Yes.
and aggravation and
Oh,
quiet
yes.
and yeah.
That is
And I
huge.
think one of the things that I love about California is there are no bugs where we
Oh,
live.
that's
No
true.
bugs.
Mosquitoes.
And
No
it's
mosquitoes.
not, it may be hot during the day, but it cools off and there's no humidity.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Right.
That's big. The weather's huge. The scenery is, the beaches.
Right.
The beaches here are breathtaking.
So
Yeah.
what I found about living in New York is people speak their mind
Oh, yeah.
in not such a quiet way.
Yeah.
And here, people sort of speak their mind. They don't say everything, but it's a lot quieter.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's
Or they
much
do
quieter.
say it, but they might say it in a different
In a
way.
nicer
different way.
way.
In a nicer way.
maybe.
So
yeah.
you're never
And that's
sure.
not- that's
yeah,
not
that's
what
not
I
our way.
Sometimes you have to just, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I've learned.
What have
I've
you
learned
learned?
to bite my tongue. a
You've
little
learned to
bit.
bite your tongue?
Just a little
Just a
with
little.
certain people,
Yeah.
it's life.
Did you know that when you first started playing pickleball, everybody called you Boston Tom?
They
Wow,
still do.
yeah.
Oh, they still do?
Oh,
Yeah.
I have people outside of the gates, and I say, "Wow, what? How do you know Boston Tom?"
And I'm introduced every time, like, oh, you're Boston Tom's wife?
Yes.
I said, yes, I am. I'm Boston Tom's wife. I don't have a name. I'm just Boston Tom's wife.
Right.
You have a name.
It took me a long time to know your last name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. A funny story is my last name is Nee, and they asked me to play in the Asian games, pickleball, the Asian games, and all my friends were like, "But you're not Asian." And I said, when I say Tom Nee, it sounds like I'm Asian, right? Tom Nee.
Oh. They let you in
They let him in.
Yeah, I won it all.
and you won.
Yeah.
Another gold medal. Listen, I
It all
only...
depends on who your partner is.
Right.
It all
Right.
depends. You know, it's a team sport. You've
Yes.
played. I've played
Yes.
with you.
Yes.
And
Oh, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we've played together,
We have
and it
played
all
together.
depends on who your partner is.
And I just want to tell people that we also had Tom's partner, his mixed doubles partner, Jeannie Costello, was on the
Right.
show.
Yep,
and
she
they're,
was,
They're
yeah.
very, they play together quite often. I
Yeah.
just want to throw Jeannie in.
Yes,
Yeah.
dear.
A little bit.
They played
Yeah.
yesterday together.
You're a great partner.
I just got them the 2-minute warning a minute and a half ago. So I want to thank you guys for coming in.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
For having us.
I really-
This is great.
this is fun.
I know.
Yeah. I feel like we're sitting down the pickleball courts talking.
Except
you
it's a
know.
little bit more
It's a
comfortable.
little bit more comfortable. Yeah, the chairs are much better.
The chairs are much
No, this
better.
is great.
Thank you.
It's a great
Thank
way
you
to-
so much.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Our next couple, Elaine and Roby McClellan. They both play golf and pickleball, and Elaine plays mahjong. They love traveling, and most weekends are spent with their son's family. These guys have nailed retirement. Roby and Elaine are two of the founding members of the Laguna Woods Pickleball Club and played a significant role in shaping the club's early activities. Also gold medal winners, so I'm just going to leave my medals on. Hey, thanks for coming on, you guys.
Thank you.
I'm going to start off with the questions. Where are you from? Elaine, I guess you better start. You're from different places.
Yeah, I'm from a little town in New Jersey, right outside of Princeton.
Okay.
I grew up in Tallahassee, Florida.
Tallahassee, Florida. Okay. And how long have you been a couple?
It'll
It'll be 60 years.
be in September. On September 4th, it'll be 60 years.
Whoa, okay.
I know.
And how long have you been in Laguna Woods?
We,
We came 13 years ago, but we rented for 2 years.
Well, that counts.
And or winters, 2 winters, and then we bought 11 years ago.
Perfect. Okay, let's get started. How'd you meet?
we met, we were starting a junior year abroad program.
You were.
We both
Oh,
were.
you both were?
Yeah.
We were.
And He was in college in Tennessee, and I was in Pennsylvania. And we met in the New York Harbor.
What college were you
I
at?
actually saw Elaine the night before. They got all of the students that were on the program together at, I think, the Mayflower Hotel in New York. And I saw her, but we never were able to get together that night. So the next day we got on the boat, and as we're leaving the harbor, the boat lurched. My stateroom was next door to her stateroom, and honestly, I fell into her stateroom.
He did. And I was 20 years old and trying to figure, I'd never been on a cruise before.
Right.
And I didn't know what you're supposed to wear to lunch. So I was standing there in my slip, and he fell in my room. And he said, "Hi, I'm his nickname, Buddy McClellan. Do you want to go to lunch?" What?
And
So we
she
went to
did.
So that was exciting. Then we,
Yeah. We spent all that afternoon. We played ping pong. I thought I was the king of the world in ping pong, and she beat me.
I grew up playing ping pong with an older brother, so
right.
he was shocked.
Oh,
Quite. Anyway, then we played bridge and did whatever you do on a boat. Went to dinner together. Went dancing that night together.
So we spent, well, tell them about the price of,
Oh, it sounds as though, yeah. In those days, it cost less money to go on an ocean line. We went on Highland American Line
okay.
across the ocean. It cost less money to do that than it did to fly Pan Am.
Right.
It was $328 to fly and $317 round trip on Highland American Lines.
so we spent a week on the ship whining, maybe not, beering and, and dining and dancing, and it was gorgeous. And then the program had us in Paris for 3 or 4 days. And about the last night in Paris, he said, I think I love you. And I said, of course you love me. We just spent a week on a ship having a wonderful time. Now we're in Paris. This is not the real world. So
And I was thereby introduced to what a northern girl was like. I'd grown up in the South. If I'd said that to a girl in the South, "Oh, that's so wonderful," she said, "Yeah, of course."
anyway, so it was, we were both in school in Aix-en-Provence
Okay.
for the
Ooh,
whole junior year.
Yeah,
beautiful place.
It's beautiful,
yeah.
It was
It's a great place.
yeah, I lived with a French family, and you lived with a,
Sort of with a French family. I lived on the grounds from a fairly wealthy family. Yet a converted chicken coop. That's true.
So the program put the women with families and the men.
no,
No.
not necessarily. I signed up to live with a family
Okay.
because I was a French major.
Well, I sort of lived with the family, and we could have breakfast there at the big house,
Right.
and take a shower once a week.
Did you
It-
see?
it was
Did you
France.
see Elaine the night you took a shower?
No, we saw each other pretty much all the time.
He did have an outdoor toilet, though, right?
Our house did.
Yeah.
I mean, the
His little
big house had toilets,
Right.
but we used the outhouse.
Okay. Ooh, okay. Perfect. And, okay, so you were there for a semester. What
A
college?
whole year.
A whole
Oh,
year.
So what
yeah.
college were you from?
I was from the University of the South at Sewanee, Tennessee.
And what about you, Elaine?
Arcadia,
Okay.
Philly. Yeah.
Okay. So then, okay, so you're there for a year and you're seeing each other all the time. And then you came home.
Well, then he went back to Tennessee, and I went back to Pennsylvania.
For a year.
For a year. He hitchhiked up
Well-
to see me a couple times.
Well, actually, we got back in June.
Oh.
And in July, I came up to Long Beach Island, where she lived in the summer,
Right.
and got a job bussing tables. and-
Okay. Where did you stay on Long Beach Island?
At our
With her
house.
family.
Oh, at your
Yeah, my
house.
mom was really nice to do that.
No, she was. She had come over at Christmas time with Elaine's sister and younger brother, and so she knew who I was.
Right.
She knew me.
Right. Right. And then you went back at the end of the summer. You went back to
to Tennessee. to
and you went
school.
back to Pennsylvania. And then, and so you were seniors at this point?
Seniors,
seniors, yeah.
and I think did I go to Swanee twice, I think.
Yeah, and I hitchhiked up, I think, 5 times.
5 times.
I think
Wow.
so. We actually at Christmas that year, I hitchhiked up to Lake Placid,
Oh, right.
where I'd worked before in the winter
Okay.
to make money at
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
And then she came up after about a week, after I've been there about a week. And
Right.
she worked there at the Marcy Hotel.
What did you do?
I was a waitress. I had experience. I'd always waitress in the summer.
Right.
We were bartenders and
Oh.
cocktail waitresses together on Long Beach Island for a couple years. So
So, okay, so then you both graduated, and then,
got married that August.
oh, that August.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And then we'll be married 58 years in August.
Oh, my.
So,
Perfect. Not on your birthday.
No,
Got to have 2 things separate.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, so then you got married, and did you go to graduate school?
yeah. Went
Both
down
of-
to, no, Elaine worked to let me go to graduate school at Emory University in Atlanta. And then we left Atlanta and went to a school just to spend a year or 2 teaching and see what we wanted to do with our lives. And we retired 41 years later from that school.
It was a good school. I know about that school. Okay, so then what people who are watching this don't know is about what you do in the summers. What you're here during the winters, but what you do in the summer. So why don't you tell me?
We go to Long Beach Island, and we have, well, my grandmother had a home there years and years ago, 1920, I think she bought a home.
In 1922.
1922, and then that washed away in a storm. But we are slow learners. So we bought a house on the same street, across the street, but it's up on pilings.
Right.
So we go there in the summer, and we have a son there and his 3 daughters and wife. It's a duplex, so they live on the middle floor, we're upstairs, and then downstairs is just a common area. And then the 3 granddaughters are all working in a very upscale restaurant there, and it's really, really nice. It's very fun. We have our privacy, they have theirs.
So the winters with the California family, and the summers are with the New Jersey.
Right.
What a
We have
life you guys have. Yeah, you really have nailed retirement.
I know, we have nailed retirement.
Our older son and his lifeguard buddy, we had said, we thought after he finished college, maybe don't go straight to graduate school. Do something you'll never get to do again.
Right.
And so he and his buddy came out to San Francisco and tended bar, and he was in a pool bar, and so he was on a pool team that played all over San Francisco. And but one day a girl walked in and needed to learn to play pool, and they'd been married now for 30 years.
Yeah, when he pulled out of our driveway in New Jersey, I said, "Don't fall in love with a California girl." But he did. So
that's
now
the
we're
son who's here.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be wonderful.
Yes, great.
It's what brought us out.
Right, right. Oh, that's great. Right, my mother said the same thing to
Your
me.
mom said the
Yeah.
same thing.
We don't listen to our parents.
No.
I actually remember they drove an old VW, our old VW, out to California. And I remember Elaine walking down the driveway, holding on to the window, with both hands walking sideways. Don't fall in love with a California girl.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But the California girls are pretty nice, so
They are.
you lucked
They
out.
are.
Yeah.
Right.
And our
Yeah.
granddaughters
Right.
are nice too.
Right, and we can't see the pictures, but the pictures will be up of your gorgeous grandchildren.
Oh.
Right, they'll
Nice.
be. PJ will be putting them in when he edits.
okay.
So that'll be really great.
Yeah.
It's really fun to see the old pictures, what we all looked like.
Oh, well,
in the olden days.
I know.
Have you guys taken any trips with your grandchildren?
Not with them.
Not with them, but we've
gone-
met them.
We've met them last year, one of our granddaughters is at Oxford, and we went to see her, and another granddaughter is studying in Copenhagen. So of course, we had to go see them both.
Oh, so this was your trip last year?
That was just last fall.
That last
yeah.
fall.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
The granddaughter that was at Copenhagen's already back at college in the United States. But the granddaughter that's at Oxford, she stays until she graduates she actually is not graduating till November.
Okay.
And the granddaughter who's studying in Copenhagen met a guy the
oh,
second
no.
day she was there. And we met him too. I don't know if it'll come to fruition, but we'll see.
Where is he from?
He's from New Jersey
Oh,
also.
thank goodness.
From
But
Summit.
he goes to Duke, so he's further south, and she's at Colgate.
So she's been down
they're
to
in the
Duke.
same predicament we were in. So we'll see if they last.
She's been down to Duke. He's been up to they're trying to do the same foolishness.
At
we
least
went
he's not
through.
from Copenhagen, so you lucked out. It
Yeah.
worked out.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Although we just have to go back.
So I just want to say one thing. It's always wonderful when our children go to neat places that we can go visit. My son, I had a
Yes.
son who was in Florence, Italy, so that was a great
yeah.
trip. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he was in Japan. That was another good trip. So,
Nice.
Yeah,
They were studying.
Yeah,
there?
he was studying. Yeah. It was worthwhile sending him
Right.
there.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for coming on. It's
You're
really,
welcome.
I've learned
Thank
more
you
than
for
I ever
having
knew.
I know. Well, we never talked about that.
Talk about these
We're too
things.
busy playing mahjong.
I know. Anyway, thank you so much. It's been really fun.
Thank you.
If you'd like to come on to the show, email us at lwvcouples@gmail.com. Include your name, phone number, and email address, and brief description of your story.